Troy, our question today comes from Second Timothy chapter 2, verse 15.
Oh, great verse.
I know. Is there a bad one?
There's not a bad one, but this is a preacher's verse because there's so many great points in there. It's to
True.
study diligently, don't be ashamed, and rightly dividing the word.
Oh man, it's like you have a sermon from it. Just to help our viewers and listeners know, it says, "Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." And our question is, what is meant by rightly dividing the word of truth?
Oh, and that's one of my favorite parts of that verse is because so many people don't do that in the world. And
Oh yeah,
it simply means to, I would say, handle accurately.
yeah. We were talking about translations issues. The American Standard Version actually says, um, let me see if I can find it here. It says, "Handling aright the word of truth."
Yes. One of the best things you can do is look at various translations, and you're going to see that they're going to render it differently, which will help you understand that word. It comes from a Greek word that means straight. The word ortho
Oh yeah.
means to do something straight, and in this case, cutting straight. So it makes good sense.
Oh yeah, I mean, think about Ephesians 6:11. It talks about the sword of the spirit being the word of God. And if you're going to handle a sword, you better know what you're doing, or you may cut your
Oh,
foot off.
that's exactly right. In fact, you made me think of responsibility. If you've got a sword, you better be careful with it. And if we're supposed to rightly handle the word, well, James 3, chapter 1 says, don't let many of us become teachers because we're going to be held in a greater condemnation.
Oh yeah, you're going to be responsible with what you do with it.
Exactly.
And after all, it's powerful. Romans chapter 1, verse 16. I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation. And that word power is there is like the word we get dynamite from.
And you better handle dynamite correctly.
Yeah, you better be careful with that. And so, you know, when we think about the responsibility, and I love that what you say is, make sure we're using it correctly, because the power that you have, it can prick the heart of people, like on the day of Pentecost in Acts chapter 2.
That's right.
Because what they do? They obeyed the gospel.
That's right.
But there's a contrast. You remember where that's found?
They either pricked in the heart or they're cut in the heart.
Like with those that would take Stephen at the preaching of the gospel, they took him out and stoned him, because there they weren't pricked, but they were cut to the heart.
Great point.
So we want to handle the word right, that we interpret it correctly, but also that we teach it responsibly to try and bring about an obedience in the hearts and minds of people. And so we hope that helps. The word is powerful, and so let us use it correctly. Be careful in how we handle it so that we use it in a positive way.